everybody, and welcome back to the Curious Genealogist. In this video, I will just be discussing how to start your family tree. I know I did create a short form video on the basics of starting your family tree, but in this video, I'm going to go in a little bit more depth. So if you enjoy this video and all my other videos, consider subscribing and also leave me some video idea tips because I want to do videos that you guys are interested in. So without further ado, let's get into it. So you've probably maybe wondered where your great-great-grandparents were or where some of your family members came from. It might seem like starting a family tree is a bit overwhelming, but it's actually much easier than most people think, even if you don't know your parents or your grandparents or stuff like that. So like I said, in this video, I will be walking you through exactly how to build your family tree step by step, even if you're a complete beginner. And you can start building your family tree alongside while I'm explaining to you how to build your family tree. So let's go through the steps together. Start with yourself is step 1. This is a very simple step. Just enter as much information as you know. Enter your first name, your middle name, your maiden last name, or if you're a guy, your last name, and your birthday and where you were born and all the details of that. Even if you don't know exactly where you're born, even just the country is helpful. And then after you add information about you, continue doing those same steps when adding your parents, your known grandparents, and anyone else you already know. If you don't know some of those important details, then that's okay. Just add as much as you already know. And even if you don't know exactly when they were born, you can even say just about when they were born. After you add those people, add any of your siblings or your cousins that you know about. And then you will start building a good family tree. Step 2, talk to your family. Before you even start accepting records, talk to your family members. Ask them maybe questions like, where was Grandpa born? Do you know the maiden name of Grandma Sue? Do you know what is the oldest relative alive that you remember? And do you have any old family photos or documents of Uncle Bradley? Questions like that will definitely spark their memory, and asking older relatives is definitely recommended. So if you still have a grandma, grandpa alive, even great-grandparent alive, definitely ask them those questions. It can be very helpful before you even start accepting those records. And some of that information they tell you, you might not have even known already, so you can start adding that to the information. Now remember, family stories aren't always true. So if Grandma Millie tells you that Uncle Jimmy had a stroke, or not that, but if Auntie Millie tells you that Uncle Jimmy ran away when he was 2 because he hated his parents, that might not necessarily be true. So things to help family stories is the next step. Step 3, start looking for records. So once you have all information that you could possibly know beforehand, start looking at some records. Some key records to look at are census records, and census records go from the 1870s to the 1950s. So, yeah. Birth certificates are pretty easy to find as well. Death records are also easy to find, and a good website to find death records and death burials is Find a Grave. Immigration records, if your relative moved in from a different country, this is definitely one of the key ones. And military records. Maybe you'll find out that Grandpa John served in the Air Force during the World War II. These records help confirm that the information you're adding is accurate. But the next step is something that a lot of beginners do not do, which will lead to brick walls. If you don't know what a brick wall is, it means that you start building your tree and you get to an ancestor and then you get stuck. Maybe it's because you can't find grandma's marriage, or maybe it's because you can't find their marriage record. Maybe it's because you can't find their parents or siblings or when they were born or when they died. So this next step, step 4, double checking everything, is something you need to do. Like I said before, this is one of the biggest mistakes beginners do, and that sometimes comes from copying information from someone else's tree that you didn't realize was false, or that maybe accepting a census record of somebody else's ancestor with the same name, the same birthday, and they live in the same place. Remember that you have to double check everything to make sure that's your Jane Doe, not someone else's Jane Doe. And copying information from records doesn't mean it's correct. So double checking it, even with relatives, or just double checking it from what you already know that you have proven is true, is definitely something you should do after accepting every record. I can even say this myself, that I sometimes struggle. I just sometimes start accepting records and sometimes forget to check them. But now I'm telling you to do this, so double check everything. Even if you're really into that family tree, just make sure all that information matches up and is correct. And the next step is probably a very tricky step, and this is probably the last step in your tree. Be patient. The saying goes, genealogy is a marathon, not a sprint. So you don't rush to build a bunch of generations, and don't be sad or scared if it's taking you a long time to get through that one ancestor's brick wall. And some days you might discover generations in an afternoon, and other times you may spend weeks, months, or even years just to try to identify that one ancestor's marriage record. And this is, of course, completely normal. And like the saying goes, it's a marathon. You don't be in a rush to build your family tree to the 1600s. Take your time and make sure all the information you're copying and all the records you're trying to do is correct. And if you're in a really serious brick wall, just be patient. Keep looking at those records, asking family members what they remember, and stuff like that. And taking a DNA test will definitely help identifying an ancestor. So if you've already taken a DNA test, contact your DNA matches. See what they know about that ancestor. That is the end of this video. I hope you found this video to help you feel more confident about starting your family tree. And if you enjoyed it and want to see other videos like this, consider subscribing, because I will definitely be making more videos about genealogy, DNA, and even some about my own family tree. I actually have a video planned about my ancestors that are kind of quite famous. Not famous, but they are known, and I'm excited to share that. So if you want to see that video and also have any other video suggestions, make sure to comment those down below. And again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and happy researching!